Welcome to Showroom Tales from AlphaCars. Well, we all heard the story of I was in that car and she or he or someone ran a red light or this animal ran across or the wheel fell off from the car, and hopefully that story had a good or decent ending. I have the story, it also has a decent ending, so let's put that out. Have you ever been in the car and you didn't know that, but you were actually driving on ice and you didn't know that, and then the ice popped, and then there's like this one big pop and the car just stops because the nose of the car hits that part of the ice that didn't break, and it just stops so instantly that you know something really bad happened because it also dropped down. And then you realize that, oh my God, what is it? So, and then to really make things even more exciting, this is all happening in Russia in 80s, in suburbs of Moscow, and that's where people had to wait over 10 years to buy their first car, and that car meant to be with that family for generations to come, and then you're in that car and it may be going underwater. So there was a lot of going through the minds of a few 16-year-olds, and I was one of them, in that car when that happened. So this was in Moscow in mid-80s. We were very fortunate. Our families, our parents, they had cars, and they let us work on cars. They let us help them with cars. They didn't let us necessarily drive those cars, especially with us being under 16. And in Russia, when you went to high school, the last 2 years of the school, you actually were getting a professional education. So you would be, if you were lucky enough, and if that education happened to be automobile truck driver, and then you would be given a driver's license before you're even 16, but it's stated there that you can only be, it's legal when you are 16, but you actually have the physical driver's license, but it says you cannot drive it. So you cannot drive a vehicle. We had them. We had two of those driver's licenses. I had one, and another friend of mine had one, and that was actually his parents' car we were in. So we took it out. It was innocent, just let's drive the car, let's see how it goes, and we'll put it back in the garage. We were also very lucky. Our parents had, which was unheard of in Moscow, was a little box. You could put your car in there, close the metal garage doors, and your car would be safe. And you can go there to work on it. So here we are driving this vehicle, and we said, oh, the vehicle was actually Lada 2106. It was very desirable, very expensive. You couldn't get that car, but my friend's parents were able to get it. Ironically, actually, it was a white one, very much like on this calendar from AlphaCars. It was exactly this car, white Lada 2106, and it was almost brand new. So we were very careful with the car, and another friend of ours was in the car, a couple other friends. So we had full car, 5 people. So we're driving it, and we said, we're gonna take it to a racetrack. And we knew that racetrack was near, it was in the suburbs of Moscow, Krylatskaya, and that's where Olympic Games, the rowing, took place in 1980. This was already a few years past, and we knew that the water is somewhere nearby, but the automotive ice track that we went there on the weekends to see real racers take their Lada 2108s and Moskvich, and they were prepped for ice racing. So we actually decided we're going to take our Lada 2106, just nice and cool. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're going to take it on the racetrack. And there was a little lock on the gate, so there was no problem to open it up. It actually, I don't even remember. I don't think there was a lock. We just opened it up. So we went in there and we just did some loops. It was kind of fun, innocent, not a big deal. And then we said, oh, there's another road over there. We're going to take that road. We're just going to explore it a little more. So we took that road. We had no idea that that road through the snow, we ended up on the frozen water. And that's exactly the water where those rowing teams during the Olympic tournaments, they were rowing there back and forth. So, but there was a lot of snow, and there was this path that took us somewhere, so we just keep driving, and that's when this happens. And it's a really, that's a feeling I will remember for the rest of my life. I still remember it, and it was just like the pop was so loud, and the car just dropped a foot instantly, and it stopped instantly. So we realized what happened. We instinctively, all of us, opened the doors, ran away from the car, and we're now looking at the car, and we can see how the car, the nose of the car dived in about a foot, all four doors open, front doors actually holding the car on the perimeter of the ice that did not break, and the back wheels are still sitting on the ice plateau that leaned forward. So theoretically, the car could still go back out, but if that plateau breaks off, and now the best scenario would be that the car would be hanging on four doors, it's an amazing scene. So we are looking at it, and we're saying, we actually didn't say anything, we were just looking at it, but we're saying to ourselves, what is it we're gonna do? And my friend whose parents' car that was, he obviously was most excited. We were all very excited. And then we were like, okay, so what is it that we're actually gonna do? And then we realized, we saw a few guys running because there's a large sport training complex right next, it's actually an Olympic training complex that was built for 1980 for Olympic Games. And they had still teams training because inside there was a track for bicycle. And there were big guys, they were running, exercising, and we're like, guys, can you help us? They looked at it and they saw that it smells trouble, and they just keep running. And then there was another group that were a little more lenient, so they actually, through the snow, it took them a little while, but they got there, and they were not excited to help, so we offered them a little financial incentive, which was a lot of money, what we offered them, a lot of money. And it was a few rubles, but it was a lot of money. And then between all of us, we were able somehow, amazingly, get the car out of the ice and back it out. There was minimal to no damage to the car, which was unbelievable. The apron underneath the front bumper got pushed in a little bit, and that was pretty much it. There was a little bit of moisture that entered the vehicle, nothing bad. So we just looked at each other, we backed it out. We could not turn the car around because that path we were going in, we knew it would end up somewhere, but it was so narrow you could not turn the car. It was literally the width of the car. So we had to go about a kilometer, maybe kilometer and a half, about a mile. We had to back out, back to the track, and then we slowly drove home. But I will always remember this story, and I thought it would be a great story to share. So thank you for listening and viewing Showroom Tales from AlphaCars. Thank you for listening.